What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Run My Crypto. Hopefully you guys are doing extremely well today. We got an amazing video, a huge update for Jasmy and what's going to happen in 2024. Not to mention, we're going to cover everything that they've been really essentially doing over the past 2 years, and it makes sense now. So as an investor in Jasmy coin, I urge you to watch all the way through to the end to get the fullness of this video. This is a huge update from the AMA that came out a couple days ago, last Thursday. And it really answers a lot of questions that many investors have had why Jasmy is doing what they're doing. So this is not financial advice, guys. This is just some healthy education to give you as an investor in cryptocurrency, and specifically in Jasmy coin as a project. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that you could be notified when I put these videos out, guys. All right, let's get into it. This is a huge update for Jasmy coin. So first things first, before we get into this video, guys, there is basically breakdowns of the Jasmy AMA that was held by Jasmy and Big Get on last Thursday. So if you hit up in my Patreon, the documentation is there that goes over basically everything that happened in the AMA. Now, what I wanted to cover is essentially everything that Jasmy has been doing. So there's been a lot of questions behind Jasmy as a project and why, you know, Jasmy did things specifically. Well, it all ties back going into a trip that was held by OpenAI, which is essentially ChatGPT. There was a little meeting that was held 2 years ago in Japan, and they were talking about basically, you know, Dpin or AI integration. I always mentioned that AI was going to be huge for cryptocurrency, and it makes a lot of sense now why AI is going to be important to businesses and infrastructures for businesses, because essentially it's going to be able to multiply the type of performance coming out of businesses. And not only that, it's going to give data information for businesses to understand, you know, what the interests and likes of people are. So that is going to be a huge important element to Jasmy's project going forward. So essentially with this meeting that was held with OpenAI and investors in Japan, they talked about different things that were going to be challenges for AI integration to companies and corporations. And what Jasmy did, they were involved in that meeting, and essentially what happened is they came out with a solution for Jasmy Labs to be able to make AI integration work, because they found gaps in the process of, you know, being able for companies to be able to utilize AI integration. There was some gaps that was going to be held with privacy, security, certain things of that nature. So Jasmy Labs knew that. So that's why we saw, you know, we understood that Jasmy was about data democracy, so on and so forth, Internet of Things. But now with Dpin and AI integration, they started to go in that direction because they found a solution for AI integration with businesses and being able to bring in blockchain technology to Japanese infrastructures. And we're going to chat about a little bit in detail why Jasmy has been making these partnerships that just kind of didn't make sense with the alignment of what the cryptocurrency was all about. And this explains pretty much everything why Jasmy went this route. So to really dive into what I'm trying to explain is, you know, we had Jensen Huang, who is the CEO of Nvidia, and then we had Sam Altman, who was in charge of OpenAI, which is basically ChatGPT. They had a meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan, and what happened was they were discussing on AI generated GPUs and how it could be a $12 trillion, well, not dollar, 12 trillion yen for Japan to be able to integrate AI generated GPUs. So after, you know, the talks and discussing the nature of businesses to be able to integrate generated GPUs, that's exactly the GPUs are basically what cryptocurrencies use to run basically blockchain and Web3 decentralization. So when you talk about projects and them being able to transact, it's all through GPUs. And basically what they want to do is integrate this obviously by AI generated GPUs, and that's basically what a lot of projects are doing. So you have Singularity Network obviously working towards this, and that's why they jumped in with internet computer. And then we look at Jasmy, and what Jasmy is doing is being able to, so let's take a look at some of the stuff they've done. What they've done is they've patented, their technology through Jasmy Labs, and you can find receipts on this when you look up, the patents for Jasmy Labs and Jasmy Corporation, so on and so forth. So here's the deal. What Jasmy, what Jasmy's done is they found ways to be able to integrate Jasmy into these AI generated GPUs to be able to help successfully implement these systems, these GPUs into, big corporate infrastructures to be able to sustain data and data information. So when you seen Jasmy coming out with all this integration, and why did Jasmy know about that is because Hera, who is a CFO, was involved with all these meetings and dealings with the Prime Minister of Japan, and then with the companies and so on and so forth. So as Jasmy put it, and this is why Jasmy is going to be a very, very valuable cryptocurrency, and the dollar, the whole dollar thing is I think is gonna go way beyond that, because what Jasmy is doing is basically they're coming up with a solution, right? So here's the deal. So let me paint the picture for you. So Jasmy has built the computers. They got the PC software going under Web3 blockchain abilities with these computers. Okay, now they got the software in place. Now what they're going to do is use all those to be able to usher in the big corporations, building the data security. That's where all their data locker and everything's going to come into play. So now you have data security and then data control into a mix of AI generated GPUs. Now this is going to be huge when it comes to businesses starting to adopt. Now that was the whole plan, right? So Jasmy essentially shifted gears to be able to now, instead of just doing retail, they're going into big infrastructures with Dpin, right? So Dpin is essentially known as a distributed infrastructure. Hold on, let me check. It's a distributed physical infrastructure network. So what that does is Dpin allows big businesses to run off of a network, being able to use generated AI through the GPUs. Now, going back to security and implementing Dpin into big infrastructures, there becomes a port of where big businesses now turn in from taking on money in forms and being able to do, they take it from transactions through regular centralized banking system, and they change it to being to run their businesses off of blockchain technology. That's where Web3 decentralization comes in, and it's all based on Dpin. Basically a huge network. If you think about it, it's just a huge network where you could allow big corporations to come in and use blockchain technology to be able to transact money, currency, so on and so forth. But what Jasmy has done is they've already put together all these licenses and these patents to be able to attach themselves to this type of technology. Now, what this technology is going to do is going to be able to have Jasmy coin be able to attach to the businesses, and Jasmy coin now becomes a monetization towards a company or towards businesses in Japan, where they could really use essentially Jasmy coin as the form of payment. They could really take, honestly, if you think about it, they're going to create a stable coin that is going to be tied into with Jasmy coin. So if you think about it as a whole, you look at Japan, and they could really use Jasmy coin as a one type of currency for Japan as a whole. So if they could tie in the AI generated GPUs, and a lot of businesses start adopting to it, they already have the computers, they have the software, they have everything in place. That puts Jasmy in a spot where it could be the currency for Japan, right? They could literally go from basically having to use yen and using Jasmy, but you could still convert Jasmy into yen. So you're essentially using the Jasmy as a form of payment because there's value, and you have it against a stable coin. So essentially the route would be all forms of payment through Jasmy in Japan, and then converting Jasmy to the stablecoin, and then the stablecoin into the yen. And all this is already in place. They have everything in place. And I think what everybody's missed on Jasmy as a project is that this essentially was what they've been aiming to do. Now, here is the part that I struggle with, but it's basically what I gained off of this information, regarding the Q4 lockup. So what I'm thinking, based off of the information that came out of the AMA, it doesn't look like they're going to lock up tokens to pull tokens out of circulation. It looks like they're going to lock tokens away so they could be used as a form of payments and reward systems for big infrastructure. So with them being at a 99%, almost 100% of supply, they're taking that supply, they're moving it into infrastructure payments and so on and so forth, where you could gain rewards from that. So what I'm thinking is that they're going to take a certain amount of supply that's tied with decentralized exchanges, and they're going to put those available tokens into a bank or a blanket pocket where companies are going to be able to start using those and use it for rewards. I believe there's gaming that's going to be involved. They got a partnership that's coming with esports. So what they're also looking to is basically utilizing GPU systems. So renting out any type of GPU system that you have. Basically, if you're playing PlayStation throughout the day, it's collecting data, collecting information, finding out what games you like to play. Then when you're not playing it, your GPU is available. So what I think they're looking at is giving Jasmy rewards to people that have the ability to loan out their systems or whatever to collect data. So all this information compiles into a data locker, data storage. So in the long scheme of things, they're trying to test all this out in Japan to see if it's valuable, but they already have a plan to go global, which it's kind of like your PlayStation. The PlayStation came out in Japan, then it moved out into the US and other countries, and everybody owns one. So they have the ability to tap into the GPUs for these gaming systems and be able to pay people in Jasmy to rent these systems out. So this is actually, it's crazy. It's a bigger scale of what Jasmy has been leading to go in, and Hera's taking full charge of that and has already been working everything out. So if we really recap what they're doing, I mean, this is going to be a huge project. If you could really just grasp what I'm talking about, big companies being involved with gaming, with retail, with pretty much anything related to Jasmy tokens, as big companies buy into this. Car dealerships, massive car companies that build, not dealerships, but massive car companies that build cars, that build gaming system. They got a contract with esports. They're working closely with OpenAI. They're working closely with Nvidia. There's so much that's going on with Jasmy as a project now that's taking them into leading 100% data and AI generated GPUs, that is going to take Jasmy to the next level. And it's going to be some huge growth, especially with the $12 trillion or 12 trillion yen type of technology or business or infrastructure for Japan. Think about how much it's going to grow when it starts to reach out globally. So I think if we look at Jasmy in the long scale, we're going to blow past, these little pieces of 0050, even when he passed $1, I was always wondering why people would post, Jasmy to $14, $15, etc. Well, this kind of explains why people could think that. So after this first AMA, I feel like a lot of questions have been answered. I don't again, the Q4 lockup, I don't think that is even related to locking up tokens to be able to mess with the supply. I think it's part of their mission going forward to be able to set aside a big bulk of coins and tokens to be able to use for companies coming in, like big infrastructure companies, and then create a reward system. So what I could see it becoming is, separating all the holders and investors, and then whatever's balancing out of that on the exchanges are going to get involved. They're going to start moving tokens. The Jasmy chain is probably what's going to be that infrastructure change, where they're going to integrate Jasmy token to be into these infrastructures, and it's just kind of big. If you look at it, you have to really dissect it and see a long-term vision with this, because in the long scheme of things, in the big scheme of things, they've already positioned themselves through, you know, being prepared for the PCs to run these big infrastructures. They have the esports contract where they could do gaming rewards with Jasmy. They have Dpin where, you know, they're going to bring the infrastructures into it. So it's really huge if you think about it, and the prices for Jasmy could go phenomenally high. So I mean, even, you know, trying to predict what the price of Jasmy is going to be now and in the future is very, very hard. I think through the next decade we're going to see Jasmy do some phenomenal gains. So, you know, in my perspective, you know, yes, I'll try to take profits in 2024, 2025, but I do see myself holding Jasmy for quite some time, because now I'm intrigued by what's going to happen in the future of Jasmy, because this is so much clarity and transparency on what we've been looking for Jasmy as an investment. So this is really huge in my mind. So if you guys want to check out the whole letter or the notes from that were translated from the AMA on Thursday, hit the 10x squad. They're posted in there. Not only that, I always talk about projects and information that is very critical and key to investors that are investing in these projects, and I do the research for you. So check it out, guys. 10x squad, link is in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them in the comments, and then yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next video.